In this gospel snippet, I want to spend a few minutes talking on something which I think is very important indeed. I don't do it to make myself popular. It certainly won't do that. In fact, I think I shall be dismissed as cruel, indifferent, callous, hard, bitter, or whatever. What am I speaking about? I have just written a small booklet. It is a small booklet. Here it is. Deceit in Death. Christendom in the Roll. Christian Last Rites for Unbelievers. So-called Christian. So-called Christian rights. What am I talking about? I was moved to write this booklet because of the death and the funeral arrangements for Professor Stephen Hawking, recently at Cambridge, in the United Kingdom. The Church of England took a funeral service for him, a traditional Church of England funeral service. And he's going to be interred at Westminster Abbey. Now, what is going on here? Well, it's typical of what goes on with many unbelievers. Stephen Hawking was an avowed atheist, and yet the Church of England was willing to give him traditional, that means prayer book, burial service or funeral service. Now, I'm not just talking about the Church of England. I'm talking about the Reformed, Baptists, evangelicals of every hue. It goes on wholesale. Men and women live and die unbelieving, rejecting the gospel, careless of Christ, indifferent to the gospel, away from the gospel, having no time for it. And yet time and time again, when they die, some priest or minister or elder or somebody will take the precious words of the Lord Jesus and the gospel, the comforts and the assurance offered there to believers of the resurrection, of eternal bliss and eternal glory, and they offer such comforts to this person who has died, yet an unbeliever. I say it's not just the state church. It goes on throughout the West. It's Christendom. Very often, babies are born and they're sprinkled, and so say made Christians. Nothing of the sort, of course, but that's what people believe. And through life, the passage of rites are used in Christendom. And then at death, the church, believers, genuine believers often too, are prepared to offer these comforts and assurances when they know that the person who died is an unbeliever. I say deceit. Deceit in death. And I've written this booklet to try and deal with it. I've written about infant baptism. I've written about Baptist sacramentalism. And now I've tried to write this on deceit in death. If you want to see my arguments, you can read the booklet. You can read it in one sitting. People find it so. It's easy to read. But I believe the message it carries is bigger than its few pages. You can see my arguments there. You can hear a free audio. You can read the scriptures for yourself. The point I wish to make is this. If you live and die without Christ, it is utterly wrong for believers to apply the glorious hope of the gospel to such people. If you live and die without Christ, my friend, you will go into judgment without Christ and into eternity without Christ. Prepare to meet your God now. Seek the Lord while he may be found now. No priest, no elder, no minister can offer words of comfort at your funeral to make it all right. If you died without Christ, you will enter eternity without Christ. So come to the Lord Jesus Christ now and be saved, I urge you. And I appeal to believers. Have nothing to do with this Christendom business. The Bible tells us to be separate from it, to come out from it, and not to offer the gospel assurances and confidences and hopes to those who have died without them, lived without them, and then died without them. May God make us think about these things. May this little booklet that I've written, and even this little gospel snippet, travel much further than the smallness might suggest. May God bless this thought to us all. Unbeliever, seek the Lord now. Believer, stand clear of Christendom. I appeal to you.